to Denton's Office, your favorite Commanders YouTube show. If you're first time watching, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter. You see it on the whiteboard. If you remember in the NFL season, Jameis Winston, who's hilarious, he got up on stage after throwing a pick six to cost Cleveland a win and said, Lord, deliver me from pick sixes. I didn't follow the rest of Jameis Winston's season. I'm pretty sure he got benched soon after. But I think that he was delivered from pick sixes, not interceptions, but pick sixes. So yesterday I decided to give it a shot as well. I said, Lord, it's your son. Thank you for the quarterback. He was sick. I'm here again to ask for something else. Sorry. Please deliver us a defensive game wrecker because free agency has been bare. Amen. And God said to me, Denton, it's March. It's literally only March. There's an NFL draft coming in about a month. And I said, you know what, Lord? You're right. It does not, as we sit here in March, take away from the fact that it has been disappointing that Washington does not have a game wrecker. In fact, the moves that they have made on defense, they beefed up, got a lot of meat, on the defensive line, but they do not have a game wrecker. The one thing that was their absolute Achilles heel in 2024 that we saw immediately in the championship game was they cannot stop the run. They cannot set an edge. They have not gotten anybody that leads me to believe they are leaps and bounds better in that department. But there's an NFL draft coming. So you're in this weird dichotomy right now because there are a lot of fans that are suggesting this free agency has been a bust because they have not gotten Trey Hendrickson. Myles Garrett was never actually available, but they did not get Myles Garrett. They didn't get Josh Sweat. They didn't seem to be in the sweepstakes of Josh Sweat. They haven't made the big splash moves. They're doing the one-year deal thing again. And admittedly, I don't love the one-year deal thing again, but what I do love is that Adam Peters has a plan, that Adam Peters is sticking to the plan. And I believe that the draft is the way that this thing is going to get situated. They are going to build and find a guy in the NFL draft that is going to be the answer to my prayer and to your prayer, to get a guy that can set an edge and also get after the pass rusher. I don't believe that the Trey Hendrickson thing is completely out of the woodworks. It's been very quiet on that front as of late, but I have studied this long enough. If you're watching this, you have probably studied this long enough. Silence is when the big moves happen. Most of the giant moves, like a Trey Hendrickson trade, like a Laramie Tunsil trade, for example, they happen in silence. Not a lot of people knew that Tunsil was even available until, boom, he's a Commander. So the silence might actually benefit Washington. But as they've restructured deals, moved some money around, I'm led to believe that maybe it's not as the Trey Hendrickson thing in particular is not as big to this organization as it is to us, the fans. It's very easy to get hyped up on Trey Hendrickson because he had 35 sacks in the last 2 years, because we know who he is, where we don't really know what you're getting with a lot of the guys that are going to be coming out of this NFL draft. The NFL draft, as much as I love it, I'm a huge draft guy, it is very much a box of chocolates of sorts. And you could get the chocolate that you really want. You could get it with some weird fruit filling that you're maybe not interested in, right? Like there's a lot of different ways this can go. The benefit that Washington has right now is that the position of need is as deep as it's been in years. And Adam Peters, who has become sort of this evil scientist or good scientist, if you will, but a mad scientist in the way that he utilizes this Jimmy Johnson draft chart and winning all the draft picks, right? Like he won technically, according to the chart, the draft pick with Philadelphia. Now they landed Cooper DeJean. He had a pick in the Super Bowl. I'll shut up. But at least as far as the draft chart is concerned, he won that. This is a guy that understands how to operate in the NFL draft, trading back, making moves. I don't believe that Washington is going to be picking at 29th overall, but I do believe that they're going to be walking out of this draft with at least two edges, at least two of them, because they don't have anybody right now. You know, Dorrance Armstrong's a good player. He played really well at the end of the season in the postseason, which is great, but we need that consistency. Now, you can make an argument maybe with him that as you get deeper into the system defensively, that he is going to have that consistency. My slight pushback would be that he literally came from the system. So like he was just surrounded by different guys. He understands the system more than most people did, unless there was this big overarching massive change that Joe Witt took from what Dan Quinn was doing in Dallas. I would have thought that Dorrance Armstrong would have hit the ground running where he really didn't. Maybe in year two in Washington that happens, but you got to come away from the NFL draft with two edges. And I believe that Adam Peters will. And because of the depth of the edge class, I think that's why Washington is not falling into the Trey Hendrickson hype the way that Cincinnati is trying to bait people. Hey, give us a first. Hey, give us a first and some. Washington's not going to do that. And by the way, if you think that they should go give up a first round pick and a third, for example, that's just kind of one of the things that we've heard as the rumored asking price. If you think Washington should give up a first and a third, buddy, we're not in the Dan Snyder era anymore. That's a move that reeks of desperation. Giving up a first, a third, and then paying a guy $90 million, maybe $120 million, $30 million per year that you've never actually had in your building. That's not how great organizations operate. So I'm very confident that by the time we get to the start of minicamp and free agency, we will at least have clarity on the edge position. But I do realize that as we sit here in the month of March, it is a bit of a worry. You have to address that particular position. We cannot go into, as an organization, the 2025 season just getting gashed again and again and again, knowing that that was the biggest problem last year. I'm confident in Adam Peters, but I am moving forward to the draft now. I don't need a big trade. I don't need a big splash. I'm moving forward to the draft and trusting that the guy that we literally hired to do the draft stuff is going to be doing that draft stuff. Let me know your thoughts down the comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter at the Denton Day. You see it on the whiteboard. Appreciate you stepping into my office. Now, respectfully, get out.